Shalom and good day all, this is Healing29 back again for another DC review, and in this DC review I'll be covering Action Comics issue 1071 by Mark Waid and also issue 118, the finale of Tom Taylor Nightwing. Yay! The big bad news is that he's moving on to Detective Comics. Yeah, what monstrosity will they bring in next with Tom Taylor? Well, let's get things ready and organised for the first one that will be reviewed. So as we move into Superman Action Comics, starting with first things first, does this cover in any way, shape or form connect to something that is happening inside with the story? Sure enough it does, to which I give it a 7.5 out of 10. I do want to point out that I will only be covering the main story in this and not the backstory. Now it's time to move into the area of the internal art as we have a look around the beginning, middle and of course the end, and also what is happening story-wise with the characters. So as we start to move into the beginning of the story, we are introduced to someone who's sort of like seen as the Phantom Zone, or the king of the Phantom Zone. And as we look to see what's happening with Kal-El, or Superman himself, he has entered the Phantom Zone and in a way has to try to find out and investigate what is happening there and what has caused some of these things to occur. Whilst outside of the Phantom Zone, we return to Galaxy Field in Metropolis, which we catch up with Connor Kent and Keenan Kong playing a bit of a game together at one of the baseball fields, which was actually quite nice to see. And last but not least, towards the end, to which Superman is reunited with Mon-El. So this is going to be interesting as to how Mon-El will actually help him in the Phantom Zone. For the internal art, I give it a 7.5. Now it's time to move in relation to the story. First things first, considering how far we are issue-wise, were there any comic book references? The answer is no. Next is the area of time. How was time addressed? We had years ago, along with now being used. The locations that played a big part in this story were the Phantom Zone, Metropolis, the Galaxy Field, which was basically a baseball field, and the Fortress of Solitude. The cast of characters consisting of Clark Kent, Superman, Zaxter, Mon-El. We had, of course, Zod, Keenan Kong, and Connor Kent. As well as Ursa too. For the overall story rating, I give it a 7.5 out of 10. Now it's time to see how Tom Taylor did with his finale of Dick Grayson in Nightwing. Was it good? Was it bad? Or was it terrible? So, starting off with first things first, does this cover in any way, shape or form connect to something that is happening inside of the story? In some essence it does, to which I give it a 7 out of 10. And a good job with having Redondo being put on this, because I think he's about the only best thing that's been about this run. Not so much Tom Taylor's story writing. So let's move into the area of the internal art as we have a look around the beginning, middle, and of course the end, and also what's happening story-wise with the characters. So as we start to move into the beginning of the story, we finally get to encounter some more of the character of Heartless, and of course he indicates that, like within this storytelling, that one of the person who's responsible for making him who he is actually Dick Grayson. Yeah, no, it's not. As we continue a little bit further, we see Dick Grayson taking on some of the villains, along with the help of Nightwing. Yes, we do get to see Nightwing get shot. Pity the dog didn't die. Would have made for a better story, and maybe something else for Nightwing to think about in his journey further ahead. As we draw closer towards the end, we do get a final confrontation between the character of Heartless and Dick Grayson, to which in this case, he is finally, I guess, flatlined. So for the internal art, I give it a 7 out of 10. Now it's time to move into the area of the story. Considering how far we've been going with this story, were there any comic book references? No, because Tom Taylor's lazy for that stuff, apparently, in this issue. And it would have been nice to sort of like see some comic book references show up, as it would like be some good tie-in points to help make the story better. Lazy Tom. What can you expect? Lazy editors. Next is the area of time, to which we had 1 hour later being used. The location, of course, taking place in Bloodhaven. The cast of characters that made an appearance in this. We had Dick Grayson Nightwing, we had Heartless, we had Oracle, we had Tim Drake Robin, we had Tim Drake Red Robin. He is not Robin. Damian Wayne Robin. Spoiler, and last but not least, Batgirl, which was Cassandra Cain. For the overall story rating in this, I give it a 6 out of 10. Until then, let's keep it colourful and have yourself an awesome day.